Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program, with Scott Palmer, Dave Roberts, Lisa Thomas-Laurie, and Mark Howard.
Action News has suddenly become a very popular address on the internet. We went online Friday during our Cyber 6 segment. There have been 136,000 visitors to the website over the weekend. In addition, hundreds of people have sent us email asking for all kinds of information on all kinds of things. Our man on the web, Dave Frankel, has some tips for getting around in this new exciting land called cyberspace. Here's tonight's installment.
The best way to navigate around unfamiliar roadways is with a map. So how do you get around cyberspace if you're not sure where you're going? With literally millions of choices, cyberspace can be a scary place. So how do you find your way around? 2 words: search engines. Not those kinds of engines, this kind of engine. The kind that can help you travel across the internet. There are a dozen or more of these applications that will head you where you want to go.
What this has done is taken the threat of the internet away.
Peter Sardella is the vice president of Prometheus Corporation in King of Prussia. His company designs websites and provides local internet access as Fishnet. Most internet access software comes with some way to jump into a search. This is Netscape, the most popular internet browser on the market today. With it, you're a point and a click away from your search.
Because each search engine has a different feel to it. Yahoo's nice because it organizes a lot of the information out there by subject.
Watch us type the topic Phillies into the search engine called Yahoo. It fans out across the net and takes a look. Here's the same search with another engine, AltaVista. If you're looking for everything across the internet with one specific word, try Lycos.
They have a program that goes out across the internet and just downloads everything it can find and finds all the words in there and indexes them.
Excite is the engine to try if you're searching for an idea or a concept. So if you're ready to surf and have an idea what you want to see, start with a search engine. You will never need to search for us, though. Channel 6 is online at http://www.wpvi.com. Dave Frankel, Channel 6 Action News.
Don't forget that address.
Won't forget it.
You're watching 24-hour news from Chicago, the suburbs, and Northwest Indiana. You're watching CLTV News.
Navigating the Internet's World Wide Web is a little like being blindfolded and dropped off somewhere in the middle of the country without a map. There are some great places to visit, but you don't know how to get there. There is help for those who want to wade through the web, though, and joining us from the Tribune Tower is Chicago Tribune computer writer Jim Coates. Jim, was my analogy pretty accurate?
Absolutely. You know, the Internet's got a huge amount of stuff out there that there's no guide, there's no roadmap, so you have to learn a few strategies to just go out there and pick the stuff up.
Is it a bit confusing for the people who get on it initially who haven't had any experience with it?
Yes, it is. They go on and they're confronted with somebody that says, type in the following address, http blah, 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 you know, and nothing to make sense of.
What's the best place to start? How do you find your way around?
Well, there's a quick fix, and what you do is you learn about a few of these internet search engines, and they're fairly easy to remember. There's one called AltaVista, one called Yahoo, one called Web Crawler, one called Excite. And any one of these will get you started, and any one of these will point you to the others. So what I tell people to do is start out by typing in http://www.webcrawler.com, and then you'll be given the opportunity to put in search words, and you'll find your way all over the internet. It's an easy place to start.
So for people that aren't familiar with it, a search engine and the World Wide Web are two different things. What's the difference between the two?
The way to look at it is the Internet's this huge library full of everything, and the search engine is the card catalog. It's the one that tells you to go down that aisle to get the geography books and that aisle to get the spelling books.
I see. And do you recommend any more than the others?
To my thinking, the most powerful one is one called AltaVista. And like I was pointing out, the easiest one to remember is the one that I cited, the web crawler. And you can go to the web crawler and then just type in AltaVista as your search term, and you'll find the other ones. And these search engines also tie into each other, So anytime you get a toehold on the beach, you know, you've got it made.
Now, are there more search engines popping up every day? Do they make money with these search engines?
They do. They make a fairly good amount of money, and of course, they hope to make a lot more. But essentially what they do is they sell advertising space, just like you encounter if you go to like the Tribune's page, you know, the ads pay the freight.
Now, I've seen a lot of reference books in bookstores about the World Wide Web, and there's so many different websites. There's just about as many books. Is that a good place to start, or are you just better off just jumping right in?
You know, I really hate to say this because some of those books are really fun to read and they are valuable, but in the end, those books are simply telling you about places to go where you're going to find screens, and most of the books consist of photographs of those screens. So I would say maybe you're better off in this case using the electronics rather than going down and laying out $25 or $30 for a book.
Well, thanks for the advice. Hopefully I won't get as lost next time I'm on the web. Thanks. That was
think you
Jim
will.
Coates, computer writer for Chicago Tribune.
CNN FM, the financial network.
It is Tuesday, and usually Dan Rosenbaum from NetGuide comes to us on Wednesdays, but today you're joining us to talk about hot buzz issues on the internet, and what you want to talk about today is copyright law.
This copyright law, there's a bill working its way through Congress now that controls the fact that who owns what on the net. So
there's all rules of the road being written for a brand new technology.
Yeah, I mean, copyright is one of those things that keeps on trailing technology. I mean, it took a while for copyright to follow up on records. It's going to take a while for copyright law to follow up on the rights of the net. And right now, it's not clear what recourse a copyright holder has to someone who infringes on the net.
Meaning if you come up with information or a map or guide or editorial content, someone can take it and you have no recourse of getting it back?
Well, it's not clear what that recourse is. One of the things in a bill that's currently in markup in a House subcommittee would hold online services liable for copyright infringement that happens over their wires. So if you're going to count on CompuServe, for instance, and you posted a picture of Captain Jean-Luc Picard, under that bill, Paramount could not only come after you, but Paramount could come after CompuServe.
Who's Captain Jean-Luc? How did you choose that person? Who is
Star Trek Next Generation. Don, where have you been for the last 6 years?
I should have known, you being a nettie, you'd be a Trekkie too. Okay, fine. So who's responsible? CompuServe is?
Well, that's what
Why would they write the law that way?
Well, because CompuServe has money.
And they want CompuServe to police their customers.
They want CompuServe to police their customers. They want the big media companies, Paramount, Fox, Turner, the networks, want someone with a lot of money that they can sue for copyright infringement if they get infringed upon.
But I understand all the lobbying going back and forth and why they want it that way. Why isn't the simplest way to simply make the person who published it on the net liable? Because if what you're telling me, you've told me earlier in these talks we have, and earlier today, is that you can trace almost what everyone does on the net, one way or another, right?
Pretty much. Pretty much. Why won't they do that? Well, copyright law isn't one of those simple things. There are all sorts of conflicting...
it has more to do with money than actual responsibility.
There's a lot more to do with money than anything else.
Let me follow up on this issue of everyone knowing what you do on the net.
Okay.
No matter what you do, can someone, a government official, a corporation, a TRW who keeps track of your finances, all those people, can they always track whatever you're doing?
Well, it's even simpler than that. There are now services, archive services. AltaVista is a famous one that I may have mentioned here before. There's another one called Deja News or Hotbot. They're getting to be these search engines on the net. And they take all sorts of things that are on the net, web pages, they index web pages, they index Usenet, news groups, and they save everything in the indexes. So you can go in, anyone can go in, this is a free service. You can go in, type in a name, type in a concept, and it'll search the net. It'll search the index, and it'll turn up everything that a person, say, has written about a certain subject or anything that someone has posted. I did a search for you on AltaVista back some months ago. Now, you don't have a net account, right?
No.
No, but I found 2 hits with your name on it.
That I had put over the net?
No, that things were written about you. You were listed in a trade publication that's on the net. When you came
I don't know why I feel embarrassed.
When you came to FN. No, but that's exactly it. So anything you write can get traced. I have a friend lives in San Francisco.
Anything you write or anything that's written about you.
Right.
So that someone could libel you.
Anytime you're mentioned. Anytime you're mentioned. I have a friend in San Francisco who wanted to get a date with someone or had a date with someone. And she ran his name through this list and discovered a lot of things that she didn't like about him. So she canceled the date.
That's awful. Are any of these things true? What did she say?
Well, some of them. Well, that's not so important. But if you post on say a heavy metal, a group that has to do with heavy metal music, and you're interviewing the boss, who is a Pat Boone fan, they now know something about you that maybe you didn't want them to know.
The internet is an amazing, I mean, there's so many ramifications that we are still unaware of.
That's right. And
how do you protect yourself from any of this invasive search of your background files?
Well, for one thing, I don't know that it's invasive. You're inviting this. You're doing the posting. You're standing up there and posting this stuff to the world, for the world to read. So for it to be coming back to you and say, well, I don't know that I really wanted that.
Let's just, we've run out of time, I'm afraid, Dan, but the word to the wise is be very careful about what you say and do on the internet.
Everything you say can and will be held against you.
All right, Dan, thanks very much. Dan Rosenbaum from NetGuide, bringing us up to date on the buzz on the World Wide Web. We'll be right back with more on the Biz Buzz. You're watching CNN FN, the Financial Network.
CNN FM, the Financial Network.
Yahoo is one of the most popular search engines on the Internet's World Wide Web. It allows web surfers to find what they want and organizes a lot of the material from all over the Internet. Now Yahoo is diversifying and yesterday announced it's entered into a joint venture in Europe with the magazine giant Ziff Davis. Now for more on Yahoo, I'm joined by the company's co-founders, Jerry Yang and David Philo. They come to us from our San Francisco bureau. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome to Digital Jam.
Good morning, Steve.
First question maybe for Jerry. How does Yahoo differentiate itself from other search engines on the Internet? There's a good 8-10 of them now.
Yeah, I think that Yahoo started out as a navigational service, and we still today remain a very distinguished flavor by having a fairly comprehensive offering and a very categorized offering. We have over 15,000 categories within Yahoo. But as you mentioned, we are rapidly diversifying into more of a media play where we're utilizing our brand and our very strong user support to hopefully develop additional services along in the information lines, both internationally and also domestically, to hopefully offer a more diversified information service to make the web useful for the future.
I'm told that you guys have gotten, at least one of you, David, a little taciturn after all these media interviews and attention, but I'm going to take a chance here and ask David, in the red herring, David, Yahoo said it was going to be depending on a lot of advertising as a major source of revenue. And how are you doing on getting advertisers, and what other sources of revenue are you trying to generate?
Well, today it's almost exclusively revenue comes from advertising, and we haven't had any trouble to date of getting interest in that. And we still, every day we're adding more advertisers, and we have over hundreds of, over 100 advertisers today on the site. And that, going into the future, will continue to remain our main source of revenue. We are looking at some other smaller levels of revenue from other places, but for the main part, it's going to continue to be advertising.
No other places you want to identify now?
We have a little bit of licensing revenue coming in today, but it's very small compared to our advertising. And so that's why we're going to continue to focus on that part of it.
Okay, my next question for Jerry. AltaVista is another search engine which has been in the news lately, and digital is advertising. It clearly plans to incorporate it into a suite of software. Some people think that Microsoft may even embed a search engine in its browser. Are you worried about those developments, and what kind of plans do you have?
Well, I think it's very important for us to make clear that the search engine field, the web-wide search engine, full-text search engine, is fairly competitive. In fact, there's probably 6 or 7 of those, AltaVista being a very strong contender in that field. Yahoo actually isn't exactly in the search engine business. We produce our own directory, which is searchable, but we also work with search engine providers, and we work with a number of them, hoping going out in the future. As for AltaVista, our understanding is that they are really targeted for a corporate play. They are using AltaVista as a platform to do some of the intranet corporate-to-corporate work, and we think that they are complementary to what Yahoo is doing, where Yahoo is much more of a consumer information service, and that in the future there's opportunities to work together with people like AltaVista and other intranet players.
Jerry, there seems to be subtle differences between the various search engines, but one thing seems pretty much in common. I think it can be fairly said. When you do a search, very often you come back with a huge amount of stuff, far more than anybody wants to look through. Is there anything that Yahoo is doing to get a more precise search for people?
Yeah, I think that it's a long process to gather the data and then finally present it to the user. Yahoo does it differently because we're one of the only few that has a very comprehensive offering, but that is human edited, meaning that we actually have people that review sites. And so therefore, while our number of sites that we have in Yahoo may not be in the tremendous millions and tens of millions of pages, what we capture is what's useful for the user. So when you do get something back from Yahoo, most likely it's going to be something that has been reviewed by other people, it's been categorized, and hopefully is contextually very sensitive, and it should be something that you want. Going on in the future, there's a lot of technology that's being invested both at Yahoo and other places to look at better relevancy ranking for your search results and grabbing sources, data sources from other information sources other than just websites to enrich the experience and making sure the data is relevant.
I have a question for both of you. You started Yahoo in 1994. You're on leave from Stanford, and there's been a huge upswell of media interest in you. Has that been fun? Has that been annoying? And what's life been like since you hit the news?
It hasn't been too bad, I guess. It's been slightly distracting, but I guess over the past month or so, we've kind of been in a quiet period, so it's kind of been a relief. But overall, it's been interesting. Certainly nothing we've ever experienced before.
Yeah, I think that one of the things, the thing that we did not prepare ourselves for when we started Yahoo and certainly started the company was the kind of media exposure and attention. We're obviously not pros at doing these kinds of things, but we're very excited about the internet. And I think we have the opportunity to go and tell the world how the internet can be useful, and we have the opportunity to design a product to do that. And that's where we really feel the passion, and we're still very excited about going forward and announcing new products.
Well, as a final question, what are some of your new projects that you're working on, and what can we see coming out of the relationship with Ziff Davis and SoftBank?
Well, I think the latest of a number of things that we've been doing is the Europe announcement that we plan to start Yahoo in the United Kingdom, France, and Germany sometime this year. And we believe the international market is going to be very important. We've done Japan as our first trial, and we're going to be in Canada this year. Some of the other things that we've been doing have been offering an offering for kids called Yahooligans. We're going to be doing something in the commerce area, and as well as working on our main site, making sure, for example, we have commodity information such as news and stock information, weather information, and we'll be doing a couple of things along the personalized offering in the future. All these things, I think, will make Yahoo more and more robust as an information platform and for people to find information on the internet.
Thanks very much, Jerry Yang and David Philo, the co-founders of Yahoo, for joining us this morning on Digital Jam.
Thank you, Steve. It's our pleasure.
Yahoo, the internet guide company, has struck a deal with Digital Equipment. Yahoo will provide Digital's AltaVista World Wide Web search service to its users. Yahoo will look the same, but users can tap into digital search capabilities on the web. Yahoo's CEO says his company will continue to look for partners who can enhance the Yahoo user experience. Terms of the deal were not disclosed.
Live from the news leader in Northern California, News Center 4 Daybreak. Here's the very latest.
Finally, keep an eye today on Yahoo, the Sunnyvale internet directory. The company has signed an agreement to feature Digital Equipment's AltaVista Internet search engine. Now, search engines are what you need to find something on the Internet. You know, you type whatever you want to find, and the engine finds it for you and shows up, pops up, a bunch of names pop up. But this is likely to be a big plus for Yahoo. Now, I recently asked readers of my column which search engine they like the best, and AltaVista won hands down. So this could very well give Yahoo, which went public just a month or two ago, the technological edge it needs, or its brand needs, to beat the competition. Anyway, that is it for now. I will be back in an hour with more business news and a look at the opening markets.
Yahoo, Silicon Valley?
Silicon Valley, down in Sunnyvale.
I love the name.
It's a great name.
For no other reason.
No, it's a great name, and it has a fabulous brand. And the one thing it seems to have lacked is the ability, when you go in to use it for search purposes, you really can't get the type of search. I found it's very hard to find what you need, and it always directs you to other search engines. Now, AltaVista, which is the fastest search engine out there, will be its preferred search engine, at least for several years, because this is a multi-year contract.
Big plus.
Very big plus.
All right.
Thanks,
Sure.
See you in an hour.
All righty.
'24-hour news, talk, and information serving the entire Bay Area. Bay TV, your TV.
Allow me to amaze thee. They say I'm ugly, but it just don't faze me. I'm still getting in the girls' pants, and I even got my own dance.
Now, moving on, keep an eye today on Yahoo, the Sunnyvale Internet Directory. The company has signed an agreement to feature Digital Equipment's AltaVista Internet search engine. Now, search engines are what you use to find something on the Internet. You type in what you're looking for, like, say, KRON online, and then the search engine finds it and what you're looking for pops up. And this is likely to be a big plus for Yahoo because, you know, I recently asked readers of my column which search engine they like the best. I'll tell you, AltaVista won hands down, in part because it's just so fast. So this could really give Yahoo, which went public about 2 months ago, the technological edge it really needs to draw people like me who have found Yahoo's directory to be too limited into their system.